Like, I don't get it. How did this even happen? Like, I don't... This is crazy. Like, I don't see any seams. I don't see any, like, signs that things were, like, mended. Other than... There's a card, though, and it says... In your hands lies a genuine deck of bicycle playing cards, sealed and wrapped in their original cellophane, with all 52 playing cards inside, perfectly preserved in an unaltered Avalon glass milk bottle. Well, I mean, it doesn't look unaltered. A truly impossible artifact to inspire for a lifetime. When in doubt of yourself, look at this bottle and remember, anything is possible. Josiah Class. You know, this is awesome. You know, my buddy, he actually sent me this for my birthday. My birthday wasn't too long ago, but he told me, he's like, dude, I have a gift for you coming in the mail, so keep an eye out for it. Really, really wish that I had a video of me like unboxing it, but yeah, this is so cool. Thank you so much. What's going on? Mikey Olexy here. Welcome back to another video. How are you doing? If you're new here and new to hanging out here with us and whatnot, welcome. I'm Mikey. This one here is going to be short, sweet, to the point. So, have you ever found yourself, you know, shooting something like a car, backpack, a person, whatever, and you're limited to a certain amount of space, but you really want to use a tight focal length, like maybe starting off at like 50 mil, 70 mil, 85 mil, 105. The list goes on and on and on, but you only have a certain amount of space to work with, or maybe, you know, you've thought to yourself, man, I really wish I had a nice wide field of view, but I still want that nice compression. Well, lately I've been using this really small technique that has made a huge impact on my shooting. I've pretty much used it every time I go out, at least once, and it's helped me with not only the scenarios that I've just talked about, but it can really help you be creative with your shooting, and you don't have to only use it within tight focal lengths. You can use it with pretty much anyone. And this little technique that I'm talking about is called the 50 stitch, and it's kind of like a panorama, but it's not really a panorama. And the reason why I say this is because when you think of a panorama, you think of a series of photos that have been kind of stitched together to make a very wide photo for a very wide field of view. Well, this is kind of like that, but it's kind of not. Because instead of taking a series of photos from left to right to get everything in the scene, what you're doing with the 50 stitch is you are basically taking a anchor photo, so exactly how you want everything to be composed for your subject, and then you're basically just filling in the blanks. So for example, I have this photo of this backpack here that I took, and it's pretty much exactly how I want it to be. It's a little off-centered, but being that we're going to be stitching all the photos together, it's not really going to be a huge issue. Next, what I do is I then pan up, overlapping the upper thirds of this photo with the lower thirds of the next photo, and then I pan to the right a little bit, overlapping that photo, and you pretty much do this all around the entire scene until you end up back into the center. Personally, I usually end up with roughly around 9 photos at the end of the stitch, but you can actually squeeze it down to 6, or you can go as many as you want. Sky's the limit. So once you're done with your day of shooting, you get home, you drop into Lightroom, and it's time to stitch them together. So as you can see here, we have our anchor, or our foundation photo of how we want our subject to be composed within the overall scene. And then we have these other photos here that are the pieces that we are going to be stitching together. So we have the upper thirds, the upper right corner, the right side of the frame, the lower thirds, the lower left corner, the left side of the frame, and then the upper left, and then sometimes I like to add a bonus original piece of composition of that subject there. So then what we do is then we bring all of these together by selecting them, and then we can right click, go to photo merge, panorama, and now Lightroom is sticking these together and stitching them all, making one big photo. And now we have these other little options here, so spherical, cylindrical, and perspective. And ooh, look at that, we're about to fly off into space or something. But No, so these are basically options that you can choose from to help fix any type of distortion, but I'm gonna stick with cylindrical here. Let's try spherical again. No, I'm thinking spherical. Options. Be an option. I'm so indecisive sometimes. But now I'm going to just click merge, sticking with cylindrical, and now Lightroom is putting all of these photos together, and while it's doing that, we're gonna go get some coffee or drink some water or something. So let's hydrate. So now that Lightroom is done stitching all of our photos together, we have this preview right here. And if you can see right here, we have a massive file. We have like 9,000 by 11,000 pixels. This is huge. So there's a lot of information going on here. But what's great about this is look at what we have here. We have all these photos. We have the entire scene. We still have the compression, and we went from this photo to this photo. Like, how awesome is that? So now what I'm gonna do is that I'm going to go to the crop tool here, and usually, you know, if you just wanna like have this as the original aspect ratio, you can just pretty much crop it to exactly how you wanna do it. In this case, probably just have it roughly around, probably around there. Just a little bit more. And then make sure that everything is all centered. And then, boom. Look at that. Might even have to move that over just a tad. Yep. Boom. Perfect. We're good. And then now all we have to do is, I'm just going to use a little preset that I have here called Blue Spruce, or maybe Blue Hour. There we go. Bring this over here, bring up the warmth just a tad. Bring up that green just a tad to magenta. Maybe work with these the basic sliders here. Let me bring up that. Work with the tone curves. Get rid of this, bring this down, bring this up. Do a little quick edit. Bring down those blues a little bit. Maybe make them a little bit more tealish. Yep, just a little bit. Might even be bringing up this exposure a little bit. Yeah. Alright, roughly right around there. Not too much. Bring down the texture a little bit. I like to bounce back and forth because, you know, one thing can affect something else. Maybe bring down the balance here within the color grading panel, down towards that shadow side of things, and that's looking pretty good. And then we'll do some masking, you know. Invert that, bring this down a little bit, make a little custom vignette. And then what I like to do is I like to bring up another one, and usually just bump it up by 0.1. And then sometimes what I like to have with some depth down here is I'll go up to the radial tool again, bring that out, right click, invert, subtract, linear mask, and that way you still have like this nice like vignette that's down here, just a little bit more. It helps add depth. And then even to help add a little bit more depth, add another little linear gradient, nothing too harsh. Get that nice and feathered, and we'll bring this down just ever so slightly. Look at that. It's really helping bring out some depth there. Bring up the sky a little bit. You know, let's try that. Just a little bit, brighten it up a little bit. Maybe add a little bit of dehaze. Bring out some details there. And then what we can do is then we can bring up the shadows a little bit. down those blacks, help preserve contrast, and bring up those oranges a little bit down here. See what those yellows affect. Of course, the greens and those oranges. And that's looking pretty good. Maybe bring those blacks down a little bit more. Contrast within there. That's looking pretty good. Perfectionism. Stay away from it. Trust me. It will destroy your creativity. But anyways, yeah, that's looking pretty good. Oh yeah, and we'll enable some mobile profile corrections. And yeah, so of course this is the starting photo of what things looked like originally. And then now with the 50 stitch, boom, here is the final product with an edit. And if you even want to crop this for Instagram, go back up here to the cropping tool. Go to a 4x5 and look, it didn't even really crop it all that much. Boom, that is ready to be set up on Instagram. So once again, here's the before photo. This is the basic photo of the backpack. This would be like if you were to just shoot it for what it is. And then of course, here is the final product with everything stitched together. But anyways, that is it for me today, folks. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you learned something new and that you enjoyed learning it as much as I love, bringing this knowledge to you. And of course, if you go out and you do this little method, I'd love to see it. Go on Instagram, #StitchWithMikey. I'll drop in, say hi, shed some love, check out your work. It'll be a fun time. But remember to destroy the like button. Every little bit counts, every ounce of love counts, and it definitely makes a huge difference. Hit up the comment section below. We can converse, we can talk, what have you. And of course, if you have not yet, subscribe. Oh, and don't forget, just explore. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.